What's up, guys? The Harrier is out. We've been waiting for it for a long time. Kind of exciting. So let's fly this thing, right? Let's jump right in here. Alright. Nozzles are set to some extreme angle. I don't know. It's a large angle. Let's let's throttle up. Here we go. Try to take it a little bit easy. I mean, it can't be that hard, right? It's getting a little light on its feet. Okay. Huh. We're airborne. That was easy, man. Super easy. Okay, I don't know what this thing thinks we're trying to accomplish here. Yeah, let's go forward. There we go. We got this. Okay, I'm getting a little bit higher than I wanted to get. Wasn't trying to land, but okay. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. We can still, I think we can still recover from this. Or maybe not. Oh, we're on fire. That's part of the problem. Okay, let's redo this. Okay, here we go. Nozzles set to, I think, honestly, I think it's supposed to be 83%. And just for the record, guys, if you want to learn how to do this properly, I suggest going over to, like, Jabber's channel or something like that. So, in all honesty, I have read most of the Pocket Guide, pretty much all of it, over the past couple of days. I rushed home, downloaded 2 different DCS versions. Well, one that I already had, and the second try, I actually got the right one that this thing is supposed to be, has been released to, and I quickly installed it, came in, mapped a couple of keys, and started trying to fly it. This one wasn't too bad until I looked to the side. Kind of lost track of things. Okay, let's try that again. So far, it's been a fun thing to fly. I'm kind of goofing around here. Obviously, if you're like me, you just want to jump right in and try to fly it. And honestly, I think this is doable. I think it's learnable. Doesn't seem like it's going to be that hard. It's just a little bit tricky once you get it airborne. So far, it's been, I would say, a tiny bit harder to try to establish a hover or some kind of a. Well, I'm not even going to say that. I think it's about the same as the UH-1 Huey was when it first came out, in terms of like just trying to get it in the air. Landing, I think it's actually easier than the Huey was when it first came out. And as you guys can see, with like very little practice and very little knowledge about what I'm doing, I'm not hovering at all, but I'm able to take off. In fact, the first time I did it, I was able to take off. I was actually, I didn't really try to hover. I just sort of did a rolling start, lifted off, and went and tried to use the weapons, and I couldn't because I forgot the buttons to press. That time I didn't intend to land. I pulled my gear up. Whatever. So yeah, I did mess around with the MFCDs. I know what are in this they call them MPCDs, right? Multi-purpose instead of multifunction. What's the difference? I'm used to the A10. I messed around with the MFCDs a little bit. I was able to arm some weapons, switch modes, select weapons. I didn't really mess around with changing the quantities or the quantities or anything like that. I just selected weapons. I didn't employ any weapons. I couldn't remember how to get the Maverick sensor to pop up on one of the screens. I did get it cooled down and ready to launch, but I'd forgotten how to do that kind of stuff. What else? I had a sidearm. Basically, I had sidearms in Mavericks. I put the wrong enemy unit down to use the sidearm, so I flew around for a little bit trying to figure out where that guy was so I could launch at him. Didn't get that done, so then I just decided to come back and practice flying around and landing a little bit. So the model looks good. I don't really know that much about Harriers. I remember learning about them as a kid. Thought they were kind of cool, but you know, when you're a kid, the VTOL thing is pretty fun. VSTOL, whatever. The speed isn't that impressive compared to some other fighter jets. So if you don't really understand the really cool capabilities of the VSTOL, you sort of this plane kind of gets lost. But it's especially for the time it was made, it's obviously pretty sweet. And the VSTOL capabilities are awesome. And as you can see here, I was playing around with the nozzles while I turned, and you can really crank up the alpha whenever you use those to, whenever you put them to not necessarily full. You'll start slowing down a lot if you put them in full deflection or fully down. They point forward just a touch, but you can really do a tight turn when you crank on those nozzles. Of course, you're bleeding off speed really fast too, just like any other jet, honestly. Maybe worse, but no, cool model though. Cool model. I'm going down a rabbit trail just because I don't know what to say. It's a beautiful model. The cockpit looks good. Reading through the pocket guide was very helpful. For not having a manual, it was very helpful to try to figure out what to do. And I watched a couple of Jabbers videos. I think that's how you say it. I don't really know. He had a pre-release version that just looks cool. He had a pre-release version and made some good videos that were pretty helpful. Not insanely detailed, but they were quick and easy, and you're able to kind of figure out how to get started, at least, you know what I mean. It flies good. I think this is, like I said earlier, I think it's very, very learnable. There are some kind of cool, what would you say, features that Razbam has put into this module, or will put into this module, and you know, it's not as hefty and as the A10. Can't carry as much stuff, but it gets to the battlefield quicker and it gets home quicker, so you can reload, and that's going to be pretty handy. I love the A10. I mean, I think the A10 is hard to beat, but the A10 is going to lose some love in the community with this guy, and then when the F-18 comes out, it's going to lose some more love. So you can do a lot with this, and the fact that you can do some sort of light SEAD work is really cool. I look forward to maybe running a package, and I don't know if it's that realistic, but running like a 2-ship package with my friend Warlock, where one of us is running a jammer and some sidearms and maybe a couple of other types of weapons, and the other one's running kind of ground attack. So so anyway, here I was just trying to establish a hover. You don't have much water in this thing, and I don't really know how to use the water system, so I ran out of water. That was what that master caution was all about. I was kind of exceeding some limits here, just trying to establish a hover. I got it down to about 100 knots, I think that is, and at least it seemed like it was. I think that's the one. Anyway, it seems like it's pretty slow, but it's still moving along at a decent clip. And I made one pass a little bit too fast, so I didn't even bother trying to touch down. And this, honestly, was my first landing in the Harrier, and I was trying to do a bit of a short landing. I know I didn't do it right, but it was very, very fun and very rewarding, and I think that, like I said, I think this plane is going to be pretty fun to fly around in, especially as we all start getting a little bit more proficient with it. It's going to be cool. So, I think that's about all I have to say about it. I probably said a lot of nothing while talking so much, but I'm very excited to have this aircraft. And as far as there are not many aircraft that I bought right when they come out. In fact, this makes two. The first one was the F-86, and there wasn't really all that much I could do with the F-86. This one's going to have a lot of stuff I can do with it, and that is extremely cool. And let's see, I'm kind of missing my taxiway here, so I don't want to turn too fast because this baby will roll right over. And see, I figured out the nose wheel steering. Run over the mushroom there. And just in case you didn't hear me at the beginning of the video, if you really want to have a better idea of how to do this properly, go see somebody else's videos. I'm not the guy to learn how to fly this thing from. At least not yet, and probably. So there you go. That's my first impressions of the AV8B Harrier. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy flying.